What's up, guys? This is RonTheTryhard back with yet another Balrog's Boxer Basics video. I know I said it was going to be Friday, but life still getting in the way. I've been trying to apply for an apartment, which I actually got, so I will be moving in there eventually. Hopefully then I can make stuff a little more consistent, because then I'll have more free time. And I'll have my own place, so recording will be easier. But enough about life stuff. Today I'm going to cover Frametraps, and what I'm gonna kind of touch base on is 3-frame Frametraps, which is Frametraps that beat out 3-frame jabs, and then 4-frame Frametraps, which beat out 4-frame jabs like this one. And I'm going to go into fake Frametraps as well that you can use kind of on opponents that are, you know, respectful and pressured, too afraid to press buttons kind of thing. And then I'm going to go into V-trigger Frametraps as well. And after that, I will cover a little bit of trade tech as well, which I know was requested as well, but I was going to cover it anyway, so we'll dive right in. So the reason why you want to know 3-frame Frametraps is obviously because people have 3 frames. That's the fastest move in the game outside of Zangief's critical art, which is 2-frame startup. And so yeah, pretty much the way that it works is like, you really don't have to know everything about frame data, but you have to know like how plus you are so that you can do the frame trap. So like if you're +2, for instance, then a 4-frame will come out with a 2-frame gap, because you just subtract the startup from the advantage. So 4-frame at +2, 4 minus 2 is 2, simple. So there is a 2-frame gap between a 4-frame, like a +2 move and a 4-frame. That will beat out 3 frames because it takes obviously 3 frames. So the way that it works is, if you're frame trapping with a light, you want there to be a 2-frame or less gap. If you're frame trapping with a medium, however, there can be a 3-frame gap. And the reason why is because mediums have a priority system over lights, and since the only 3 frames that are available are lights, and of course EX DPs, and sometimes DPs depending on the character, but usually they're light DPs anyway, so yeah, basically mediums will take priority in a 3-frame gap situation over lights. So that's why if you're +3 on moves, that's really good, because then you can frame trap with 6 frames. If you're +2, then you can frame trap with a 5-frame startup medium, like standing medium punch, sorry, and you can achieve similar results. And then if you're +1, the only thing you can do is a 3-frame as a frame trap against 3-framers. So basically what we're going to do first to practice 3-frame Frametraps, the reason why I actually have Necalli here is because Necalli has he has one of every single attack that has different varying frames, so it's very good to practice Frametraps with him. His his light punch is 3 frames, his light kick is 4 frames, his crouch medium punch is 5, his standing medium punch is 6, his crouching hard kick is 7, and his crouching medium kick is 8. So we have a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frame startup move on him, so we can practice very easily. So what we're going to do is we're going to set him to guard, recover with 3-frame, which I think I already had set, but we'll just show you anyway. Okay. So you have to remember, you have to wait until the little reversal flag shows up. That's how you know that you did it successfully. If the reversal flag doesn't show up, then you're going to have to retry it, because Capcom's recording system is stupid. So if we set him to guard all, okay, he is. Okay, see, he does his 3-frame. So we're just going to run through some of the 3-frame Frametraps. And with this, you can leave kind of less of a gap, like it doesn't matter. So like if I wanted to do that is actually a block string. Like, you see how he doesn't attack? That's because it keeps him in block stun, so he can't do anything after that. Those are good, and yeah, if you delay it by just a little bit, Like you can do something like that. You can't really follow it up, so there's no really point to do this unless you're trying to, you know, do that on hit, but you're just kind of pre-buffering it. Because standing light punch combos into light kick target combo, which we covered in combos earlier. But yeah, so that leaves a 0 frame gap right here because this is plus 3 on block. And because it's plus 3, a 3 frame leaves a 0 gap. So you can actually do, you can do something like, I mean that trades because of the distance. But yeah, if you really wanted to, you could do this. You could do that. Oh wait, that's 4 frame startup. What am I thinking? Okay, we'll go into the 1 frame gap frame traps now. So this can combo into that, and there's a decent window, like a couple frame window you can do to beat out 3 frames. Just a couple frame window. However, because these moves are, I don't think. Yeah, okay. So standing light punch is not chain cancelable in the same way that crouching light punch is. So you see how I can do crouching light punch, and they're blocking it. It's because I'm leaving a 0 frame gap. However, I can do something like that. So it still leaves me plus 3. And another thing I forgot to mention, if you weren't familiar, standing light punch and crouching light punch are like almost the exact same as far as frame advantage. So this is plus 3, as you can see on the blue marker up there on the left, and this is plus 3. So basically, yeah, like I was saying, this can be chained just by mashing even. Actually, I think they prevented it from mashing, so you actually do have to time it to some extent. So yeah, crouching light punch is the thing that you do this with, where you can do that if you really want to just keep a block string and make sure that they don't EXDP you or anything like that for pressure. So you can do like, you know, something like that to maintain the pressure. Of course, with a 3 framer that'll trade, and we'll get into that. So if you delay it a little bit, then you can get it and do something like that. Or you can just do this. So because standing light punch and crouching light punch are 3 frames, you can do a 6 frame. And Rog's 2 6 frames are crouching medium punch and standing medium kick. And these work almost exactly the same. They have the exact same advantage. The only difference is that standing medium kick on a hit will give him a slight better advantage, so he can combo a little better into it. So what this means is I can do this if they try attacking. I can do crouching light punch, standing medium kick, and then combo it into hard punch. And the way that works, if I'm not mistaken, if we take this off, okay, yeah, that still gets blocked at that distance. So that's basically keeping you plus while still putting some distance. And by that point you're like here, and this is like prime light whiff punishing range. So if they whiff a light, then you can punish it if they block that at that distance. And so we're just going to go down a list so I don't keep getting off topic here. So we have this one, which I said, 0 frame gap. Then we have that one and that one, which is a 0 frame gap. And then we have, we're going to turn this back on. This can be a 1 to 2 frame gap depending on how you delay it, and so can that, which will be at 3 frames, as you can see there. And then this one, that's a 2 frame gap. So light punch and a medium punch, and that's not bad because it's 5 frame startup. So you can do a throw, or you can do that. And then you can convert into something like that, you know, if they try to mash. This will also keep them grounded if they try jumping. So that's kind of an option too. Do I still have it set to where he jumps? It might be this one. No. Okay, it looks like he's trying to jump there, but probably got derped up somehow. So we're going to try doing a jump just to show. Okay, we're actually going to do that again because it didn't show the reversal thing. I'm just... Okay. Okay. So in that event where they try to do that with a grab, like you see how it keeps them grounded? Whereas if you did something like this, oh sorry, that does leave him grounded as well. I think it's a three frame window. I'm not sure about that one. Maybe I didn't do it right. In any case, something like that will keep him grounded. So you can do something like that. That doesn't actually give you enough. So yeah, that does have some uses, kind of as a quicker frame trap. But overall, you'll be wanting to use medium punch, crouching medium punch, or standing medium kick after both light punches. So I tend to do it this way. I tend to go crouching light punch, crouching medium punch. Let's change this here. Oops. Okay. Because then you can convert it into something like that on counter hit. And then standing light kick, you can do something like that. Fortunately, that doesn't combo into itself. Like, that pushes them too far back by that point. So you want to finish the counter hit with crouching medium punch. So you can do some, you know, do whatever. If you're in V-Trigger, you can get something crazy like this. And that's some pretty good damage. Or you can even do, like, oh, whoops. My bad. Or this. And so in V-Trigger, it's 461 damage off a frame trap when you're in V-Trigger 1, so it's good damage. Okay, I guess you can do that off of light punch. You just have to time it right, I guess. And you have to be like right up close. Yeah. So you can do that. But yeah, that's you have to be like right up close to their face. So that is an option though. Yeah, you still can't do that though. Nope. So yeah, standing light punch. I tend to do standing medium kick just because it keeps me standing, and then this keeps me crouching. So those are usually what I combo it with. Also, you can do something like this. So you can go something like that, and then you can do, if they're not recovering after it. Okay, maybe they did patch that. I know that they made standing light punch not as good in Season 3, so that's probably what... Yeah, it doesn't look like you can combo that. Yeah, that's not a block string anymore. Forget that. So yeah, this and this are like two really good pressure frame traps, because this leaves you at +2. So basically, if they try to press a button, you can be ready for them with another light. So like if I set him to that and then turn the guard recovery on. Oh, I guess it didn't record it. Okay. Anyway, you get the picture. I don't know why I have him set to back recovery here. So yeah, there's a good amount of things you can do off of that. get fancy. So yeah, that leaves a 3-frame gap. Now moving on to the light kicks. These both have the same advantage. They're both +1 on block, which doesn't give you a lot. It basically just gives you a 3-frame up close. So say that's a frame trap. But okay, can I even do that? Okay, against the corner I can, and I can out of the corner. Okay, I just have to be really close. So you can do something like that as a frame trap. So basically the way you want to set it up for training to practice this is you want to, 1, have a frame trap in mind, 2, of course, set your dummy to 3 frames after block, 7 to guard all, and then practice on each side 10 times in a row without fail, doing the frame trap, and then doing a follow-up on counter hit that you can get. So like, that is a good follow-up after the frame trap. That way you have a good frame of mind of what to do after that. I think, yeah, okay. This into that is actually pretty good because it keeps him closer than this one. Wow, that actually doesn't let you convert that. Yeah, this pushes back a lot since they patched it. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty much gonna have to go into that. But crouching medium punch might actually be better to go into that as well, if you can. If you're at a far distance like this, then that would be better. And at distances like this, at distances like that, your crouching medium punch tends to whiff unless they attack. So it's like you can pre-buffer specials at that distance if you want. Which pre-buffering, you know, is basically, I think I covered it in my spacing video. It's basically you do the input, and if it whiffs, then it does that. But if I do it, if they try to attack you, then you interrupt their move and you'll buffer into it. So that covers that. And so yeah, back to standing light kick. That and that. So yeah, you can do that. You can do this. Yeah, you can't combo to that. I didn't think so. So yeah, the only real follow-up you can get after this frame trap is like standing light punch, and you have to be right up in their face. So yeah, you can do a couple things based on the situation, however you feel. Alternatively, you can do something like this, but that's risking it. That's only if you like know that they're gonna try to challenge that. One thing that a lot of Balrogs do, and I'm gonna go into this, they do this, but they do it into light punch because it trades at worst with 3-frame. So you might as well, because it gives way better conversions and everything. So a lot of them do that. So people with 3 frames can pick up on that and then start to challenge it, and then it trades. That way they lose their pressure and go back to neutral. Like, see, that puts us both at +0 and we trade that. So it doesn't really give us either advantage, it just puts back into neutral. But it drops Balrog's pressure, so you have to be careful about this, and you have to know if the opponent is the kind that likes challenging after standing light kick and crouching light kick. And that all just comes with knowing your opponent. And just observing what they do. You don't even really have to know them, you just have to see, okay, do they mash after I do this? Or do they just do a 3-frame? And then from there, standing medium kick, which I kind of went into. Again, this is +2, so you can't do a 3-frame. However, you can do a 5-frame if you have one. So he has one, but it's kind of up close. Like, see, far away, it's kind of fickle. You can kind of do it if they mash, but otherwise, this is more an up close thing. And you can't really convert it either from a So you kind of have to see, oh, they attacked, and then convert on the fly. Another thing you can do to make it safe, actually make it plus, is that, because if they block it, then you're still +1. So you didn't like drop your pressure. And that's the thing with frame traps too. If you're doing a frame trap but you're afraid you're not going to get the conversion after because they're going to block, then you can just cancel into EX straight. Because, you know, worst case scenario, you're +1 on block. So it's a very safe thing to do at the cost of meter to keep pressure, is relying on that EX straight to keep you from being unsafe. So if I were, you know, do something like that, then that would be bad. They'd get me, just because I was kind of autopiloting there and banking on the actual hit. So we're going to do, we just did standing medium kick and crouching medium punch. Crouching medium punch can do that as well, but it's a little harder to do. So let me change this back on. So this, I forgot to mention, anything that's +3 warrants a grab, because grab is 5 frame startup too, and it has priority over lights. So this pushes back too far, as you can see. You can't actually tick throw that, but you can tick throw after crouch light punch, and you can tick throw after crouch medium punch if you're right up close. You can't do it after standing medium punch. And you can't do it after standing light kick either. That's another reason why people try to challenge it with grabs a lot, is because they might think that you're going to do a grab after it. And you can't do the same thing after light kick either. These are both fake tick throws. They're not real. This is the only real one, as well as this. And that one has to be like, you notice how I walk forward a little bit just to make sure I'm perfect? Like, you can't really do it at certain ranges. At this one, there's a little bit of grace, but not much. It's just it doesn't push back as much as this, so it's easier. So yeah, those are your 2 throw frame traps. Is that, yeah, that pushes way too far back. So yeah, moving on. Doing this and doing this are both viable options. And this one you actually can convert into, so you don't have to worry. So this is if they're going to suspect you're doing a grab. So see, I either grab, or I do something like that. So there's a lot of options you can do with the 2 frame gap. Yeah. And then standing hard kick is probably, I mean, you see Balrogs do it all the time. It is a very good button. It does have 9 frames of startup, but at tip range like this, if they try to mash a 3 frame, then you can beat them out because of the spacing. So this is kind of a frame trap because of the spacing. And this is also kind of a frame trap at the right spacing because of that. Like, you see that? Depending on the character. Some characters have longer 3 frames. But yeah, basically, spacing comes very in handy with frame traps because you can kind of extend. You can kind of give yourself 1 extra frame of frame advantage that you wouldn't have otherwise. So this can be actually like +3 from this distance because his 3 frame won't reach. So you can treat it as though it's +3. So I can do this because it doesn't extend his 3 frame as far. And same with this. Or I can even do that. And that is a frame trap from that distance. However, this does leave a 5-frame gap, so if they have a far enough 5-frame, so let me now set his 3rd slot to a 5-frame. Wait, is it standing? Oh no, it's crouching medium punch, sorry. Okay, so crouching medium punch. So that leaves a 5-frame gap. So if I do something like this, then see, he'll beat me out. Because that leaves 5, that actually leaves 6 frames. So he could do a 6-frame to beat this out. So that's a pro tip against other Balrogs, like especially Smug likes doing that. If you see a Balrog do this and they're gonna try to beat it out, they can, if they space it at like perfect tip, they can sometimes beat it out. Or even if they just wait a little second, like that. But if they're going to just mash it, because I know Smug does that sometimes, then you can bait them out with a 6-frame or a 5-frame if you have one, which Balrog has this. It's not going to be super useful in those situations. So yeah. That will still work on 5 frames at like perfect distance. Actually, that might just... Let's see, this is +3 and this is +8. Okay, yeah, because of the priority system, this actually works. So you can do something like this. And get him into the corner, do whatever you want from there. So... Oops. So yeah, you can do lots of... all sorts of mix-ups and stuff. That was just kind of me autopiloting for a second there. I lost my train of thought a little bit there. But yeah, this, if spaced right, can go into this to beat out 6 frames and 5 frames. This will beat out 6 frames, I guess, at this distance. It will not beat out 5 frames, so you'd have to do that. What we're gonna do for the next step here. So yeah, this kind of beats 3 frames. It trades because of the distance. So it's +1, and even though it's +1, standing light punch or standing light kick still trades. So it's not really good if they're gonna mash 3 frames. And this is actually a trick against other Balrogs. If a Balrog does this on you on block, retaliate with a 3-frame right away. Although they can also bait that out as well, so you do have to be careful if they're at the right distance. They can also do that if they're really stupid. I don't know who would waste their meter for that, but I'm sure there's somebody out there who would do that. But yeah, this, not real. Standing light punch is the one you want to do after this, not light kick, because of that. See, that's light kick, that's light punch. Like, it literally does the same thing. It trades because of the distance. So that's just something to remember. Standing hard kick. Up close, this thing is +3. So just like light punch, you can combo it into these. Although because of the pushback, you can't really do those. So you kind of have to know your opponent and see, okay, they're doing that. So follow up. And again, you can do something like this to make it safe. That way, if you're afraid they're going to block the crouching medium punch, then you can keep going with it. Yeah, this is +3. However, if they have V-reversal, then they will actually beat you out. There's nothing you can do. So another tip against Rog matchup, if a Rog does standing hard kick, almost always you're going to just want to use V-reversal. Keep yourself from that pressure, because this opens up a lot of doors for him to pressure you more. So yeah. And yeah, that's another thing, like, I think I kind of covered it a little bit, but yeah, spacing offers fake frame traps to be more real. And I will cover that with the fake frame traps. But for now, we're going to go into 4-frame frame traps now. So, some characters in the game have 3 frames. Necalli, of course, being one of them. Balrog. Ryu has a 3-frame. Cammy has a 3-frame for some reason. Like the main characters that do not have 3 frames that you want to know are Guile. He does not have a 3-frame. He has a 4-frame. I mean, Nash doesn't have one. Most of the characters who have only 4 frames are kind of bad, to be honest, except for Guile. But yeah, Guile, Fang, Alex doesn't have a 3-frame. Nash does not have a 3-frame. I might have to pull up the full list here just so I know. But yeah, certain characters only have 4-frame jabs, and Cody is another one. So you can capitalize on those characters by learning 4-frame gap frame jabs. So one, like the simpler ones, standing medium punch into crouching medium kick. So you see that beats out 3 frames, but let's pretend Necalli only has a 4-frame. So we're going to, the reason why I left a gap here in that slot is because we're going to record him doing a 4-frame. So his standing light kick is a 4-frame. So now he's doing that. So now I can do this. I don't think I can actually, yeah, I can't really convert that into anything from there. I can convert that one though, crouching light kick. So, that's not really all that good to know against 4-framers, but if you're in like a situation like this where you're in the corner and you're just trying to jab check and they block the jab, you can do something like that and get yourself out of the corner. Push them into the other corner. And just like that, you're out. So it does come in handy sometimes to know stuff like that against 4-framers. Because this is a really good poke. Moving right along, crouching medium punch, crouch medium kick, standing medium, or crouching light punch, and standing light punch, both combo into that on 4-framers. And then we're going to do this. So this actually is a frame trap on 4-framers. And the good thing is this is all a block string right here. So if you're right up close to them, then you can combo it. Can't do that though. Although you can still do something like that. So yeah, standing light kick, crouching light kick, both combo into this as a frame trap. Although that doesn't offer that, so you want to do crouching light punch after crouching light kick. Honestly, you'd probably just be better off doing that on both of them. But you can still do a standing light punch, just depends on your mood, I guess. So, standing HK, because it's +3, can also go into crouching medium kick. Just another option you can do for 4-framers. And then these are my 2 favorites against 4-framers. These are probably the ones you're going to be using most. This, it combos into itself on counter hit. So see, I just did 3 crouching medium punches in a row because he has a 4-frame. Like that kind of thing. So if the first one counter hits, then you can convert it. So if I set him to no after first attack and I put counter on, like see, I can convert it into that. But if he blocks, I can do literally the exact same thing. Same with this. So these both combo into themselves. They also interchange. And this one can go into that if you're close enough. It goes into that only. So yeah, you can kind of mix and match with those two because they're very similar. Oh, I messed that up, but yeah, you get the picture. You can do stuff after that. EX straight. This is actually like legitimately one of my favorites if I have meter against 4-framers because you can do this. Oh, whoops. Have to be like the right. So if I'm like right up in their face, I can do that. That is a frame trap. Even though, yeah, it's +1, so because of that, a 4-frame will not have enough time to react to it. And the best part is, if he doesn't attack, oh, whoops, my bad. You can do this. If you really want to waste all your meter, you definitely can. There's nothing against it. And I've actually done that in matches against 4-framers, just to pressure them. If I'm just goofing around, you can do that. And those are all frame traps. So if they press a button at any given time in that string, they will get hurt. So that's something to note against 4-framers as well. Oh yeah, Ken. Ken has a 4-frame. He doesn't have a 3-frame except for his light kick Tatsu. His light kick Tatsu is a 3-frame, which is weird. Some Kens like to use it, others don't because it, you know, provides a good amount of risk when he does do it. So yeah, Ken has a 4-frame as well. Maybe that's why he's considered to be so bad. Who knows? So those are 4-frame gaps. I don't really have a whole lot beyond that. Just these are your main ones that you should practice. And you can convert into whatever after that. You can't really do that. Huh, I guess you can't really combo that in. Yeah, so you'd want to do that. Yeah, okay. So that covers 4-frame frame traps. So now we want to go and do the fake or 5 and up gap frame traps. So these ones are basically, as you can see, these are very plus moves. This is a very plus move. A lot of people will just block because they know you're going to do a frame trap. So you can capitalize on this, and this is how Balrog gets most of his pressure, is through fake frame traps. You see Smug doing it all the time as well. Because people just are too afraid to challenge, because they know if they challenge and he does a real frame trap, then they'll get bodied, so why even bother? So Balrog can use this to take advantage. So this is a 5-frame. So if I do standing or crouching light kick, that trades. However, if he does a 6-frame or above, so I'm going to now record his 6-frame. Okay, so his standing medium punch is his 6-frame. So if he does a 6-frame, then I can do that. So these are gaps that will basically increase your ability to pressure, because if you do something like this, then you can do something like that, or you know, these are fake frame traps that you can kind of do, you know, to keep the pressure going. This of course is another one. You can do a quick light kick dash cancel into their face, and you can either cancel into that, which of course is very unsafe, or you can cancel into that. And if the opponent respects you enough, they will let you do this. So that's another fake frame trap kind of thing. Stuff like that you can just kind of keep going with, rather than just doing something that's real like that, and then by that point you're out of range unless they attack. So fake frame traps are a very good way to basically keep pressure with them. So yeah, standing that and that. Those are all fake frame traps. So another one, which a lot of people do, is this one. It's the same thing. Like there's a very wide gap. There is a 8 frame gap in this. So yeah, they can just do a medium punch and they'll beat you out. So if we set him to his 6 frame, see, he can beat me out of that. However, this will beat out 6 frames because it's plus. So yeah, standing light punch or crouching light punch into standing hard kick is another one, and it leaves a 5 frame gap. Or does it leave? Sorry, it leaves a 6 frame gap. So it'll beat out that, but I don't think it'll beat out this one here. Yeah, see. So you kind of have to play to what your opponent does. If you see your opponent respecting too much, then you can do that. Do I have this set? Okay, perfect. Okay. So crouch hard kick is 7 frames. So because of that, that leaves an 8 frame gap. I'm busted. This is why I'm gonna be happy when I get my own place. Somebody interrupted. So anyway, basically you just want to do the fake ones at your discretion. This will beat me out. However, if I set him to crouching medium kick instead, because that is a medium kick move, I can get away with that. If he did a 8 frame heavy move, it would not get away with it. It would trade. But because, yeah, certain situations offer certain things. This, however, will. I don't know how many, other than like bronze levels, how many people would actually try to follow up with a crouch hard kick. But stranger things have happened. This is just to simulate their reaction times. They're, you know, reacting like 8 frames late. So, yeah, you can do stuff like that. So yeah, standing light kick into crouching medium punch, 5 frame gap. Same with crouching light kick. Crouch standing light kick into heavy kick, 8 frame gap. And standing light punch into that is that. That is something you can do as well, and if you do it on tip, okay. Yeah, if you do this on tip, like the right tip, if they block and then you don't set it. So if I do like this, there's a certain distance you can do it at, like that puts you at the right distance to where they can't punish it with crouching hard kick. So that is a fake frame trap as well if you're pressuring. This is one just to kind of keep them at the distance. If you do this on tip, so you can do like that. Okay, that one doesn't work. But yeah, you can do something like that. You can do that. That is a fake frame trap. Which this leaves a 10 frame gap, just so you know. This is good if they're like too far away and they're just trying to move. Like by this point, at this distance, sometimes the opponent will try inching forward to pressure because they see that it's not your turn anymore because you're too far. So you can steal turns just with an extra poke. And by this point, you can block you can do this, which will put you at the perfect distance. And Brian F actually just released a video on this. If you do this at tip range, a lot of people on block are going to want a neutral jump. So doing this kind of setup will put them at a distance where they might think you're going to try doing that, so they'll neutral jump. And then you can bop them with a screw smash, doing the jiggle. So that gives you options. And yeah, EX straight. This is another fake one. Although it can actually be real if it's at certain distances like this. That'll beat out their 3-frame. Otherwise, yeah, it's fake. You can do that one too. That leaves an 8-frame gap. You can do something like that. This is more if they're going to try jumping or backdashing. You can catch them if they're going to suspect a tick through. You can do this as well. Smug likes doing these because, yeah, they kind of are only if you condition the opponent to fear the throw. And now we're going to go into V-trigger frame traps a little bit. So, basically, we're going to go into... I think Brian F. actually released a video on this one too. Doing this into V-trigger as opposed to doing this. And why you want to use one over the other. So this is good in certain circumstances. And let me change it to 3-frame. So that's obviously unsafe if I just do it on block, but doing it in V-trigger makes it super safe, or makes it plus. So this leaves me at +4. That means I can do 7-frame move or less. So I could do this if I really wanted to. If I really wanted to, I could do that, but that would be sacrificing damage. So I can do like this. And then go into their face. Mix-ups, all that stuff. So this is why you want to do this one better, is because if it lands on hit, and you can watch Brian F's quick tips video, I think it's the quick tips #1 that he did, if you want to see kind of why. But if you get this on hit, I mean, that does like no damage because of scaling, but you can do go into their face, mix them up with all sorts of stuff. So yeah, things like that. There are frame traps on hit that you can do as well. So because this leaves him +5 on hit, this will beat out 4 frames. This will beat out 3 frames. So you can also do that. I usually don't. I just take the damage if I, confirm a hit. But sometimes you're not really thinking on your feet, so you can do that. Another thing is doing this doesn't give you as much damage. And unless you're like willing to waste meter, it's not gonna give you anywhere. From like, a far distance. You can do that, I guess, if you really want. There's ways that you can actually utilize it, but it's better off doing the 1-2. However, if you are setting up for the block one, there are a couple things you can do. Here we go. So that is a frame trap from that. So it basically just depends on what game you want to play. With this, if you time it right, you can actually walk up into a grab. But you kind of have to... See, you can walk up into a grab there. So that can scare them to try to mash you out. Also, they see this, they're going to think that you might be negative, because this is a super negative move. This is -8, so yeah. On top of that, if you're bold enough to use V-trigger 2, that is a frame trap. as well as being able to, of course, do this. And then you're in their face. So you can mix it up. You can do various things like that with V-Trigger 2, specifically. Otherwise, I believe this can also, if you really want. Yeah, okay, that trades. Which I believe. Yeah, if you micro walk, then look at all that damage off 2 bars. $562 off that trade. So that's an option too if you really want, is you can do a LP straight after this to trade with a 3 frame. And then if you can micro walk fast enough, you can get that. Otherwise you can go into something like that. You can even, okay, you can't do that. You can do, you know, you can do a good amount of things. But this would probably be the best. I'm sorry. You can do that. Now here's another thing. One thing I didn't go into to beat out 3-frame frame traps is special canceling. So this will beat out a 3-frame frame trap. This will also beat it out with a tighter gap. So doing crouching medium punch in a medium kick low, while it offers a lot of risks, it's pretty darn good for that. And you know, offers kind of all sorts of things from there. That will trade if they do a 3-frame as well. So you can, you know, go into something like that. So you can do like, you know, whatever you want. You have to micro walk, but let's see what else we can do. That will trade as well, which will give you better Oki. Which, I'm trying to think here what we can do after this. That leaves me at +7. Or no, +11. If I time it right. Let me try something. Okay, that leaves me at +3. That's another thing. Meaties are something we'll cover on a later date, but they basically leave you at a higher advantage than normal. So meaties, you can set up better frame traps. Just knowing like how plus a meaty is basically what will lead to that. So you saw there I made standing hard kick like +5 or +6 or something crazy like that. So then I was able to combo this to beat out 3 frames. So yeah, we got this. And doing the light punch straight on block will make it safe with V-Trigger. That's why it's okay to do that. However, you are making yourself -2. Another frame trap that you can do to alleviate the -2, it will make you -4 if they keep blocking. However, if you know the opponent is the type that will mash, after any straight or low, if you can time it right, and the timing is manual, so you do have to kind of practice that. You can get it here, hang on. So you can do that. Yeah, so you can do something like that, and you see just how much damage that did. Worst case scenario, I'm -4, which is not good, but, you know, it's one of those mind game things. You have to kind of know your opponent. So you can actually make that into a frame trap. You just have to kind of time it. The timing is pretty strict, so it's worth practicing. I usually get this. I don't know why I'm messing up all of a sudden. Okay. Oh yeah, you get the picture. And it's easier to frame trap after the kick. You can do that after the punch record too, but like I said, it's a little harder. And it can trade sometimes if you're not careful. If it does trade, there are things that you can do. Let's see if I can simulate a trade. No. You can do that if you're quick enough. So yeah, I'm really bad at the V-skill punch trades though, because you have to be like right on the money, you know, EX straight in their face. But that's an option you can do, because you know most people, they'll do this and you know all that stuff. So here's a little tip. Against certain characters with stubby 3 frames, you can actually punish like that. Characters like Ryu I tested don't work, so you have to kind of know. It works against Balrog's 3 frame as well. You can do all sorts of things after that. I believe you can even do this. Maybe not. Wow, did that actually... Wow, that's a frame trap. I did not know this. I might need to research that a little more. So heavy punch straight. Kick rekkas are a frame trap. Punch rekkas are not. Good to know. I did not know that. So this is indeed a frame trap. Specifically after heavy punch straight. But yeah, you can do it after. You can do it after screw smash as well with this one. There we go. Just so you can see. Next is crouching medium kick. So this used to be really good. It used to leave you super plus on block, doing the full. Now you notice this is a frame trap in and of itself, so it can be good in some cases to catch them. And this one's hard to simulate doing that, but if they block both of those, then you're -2 when you beat trigger cancel now. So don't bother trying that unless you want to be cheeky and do an EX screw smash. You can make it safe, you know, whatever, if you really want, but honestly I think you're sacrificing potential. This is much better because this will get you out of the corner on block. So let me just show you. If he's like here and I'm in the corner and he blocks this, then I can get back with that. You can do some more trade tech there. Try this. The knockback is just enough that it's like perfect. If you don't want to do that, you can do light punch. You can do light punch straight instead. However, if this connects, then you can combo into medium punch straight. See? So you can combo that into medium punch straight on hit. On block, it trades. So on block, if you do light punch straight, it'll beat 3 frame traps. So what is this? Randomly perform a recovery when knocked down. What is the difference? Okay. That doesn't seem normal. Anyway, so if I do this, then I'm out of the corner. And they're in the corner. If I take his guard recovery off, it still pushes me back to like mid-screen. So, and it kind of gives me a little more pressure that way. Because again, I can go into the, you know, I can go into that thing if I really want to keep pressure and try to steal a turn. So that is a really good one. As you notice, it leaves you at +9, I believe. Yeah, +9. So I could potentially, if I'm close enough, I can just go up and do that. And then I have them push back a little bit more. I personally like this one. That just gives me more options. It pushes back. It's enough that it kind of makes them think like, oh, maybe he's negative, and then boom, big gap. This is -2, as you can see there. So the only real thing you can do after this that is reliable is that. If they're afraid by that point and you condition them, then you can start doing fake stuff. But another reason why you want to use this is on hit. As you saw, you can combo medium punch straight, or you can combo crouching hard punch. That's something you used to be able to do with crouching medium kick, crouching medium kick. You can't do it anymore. So if I take his guard off, you can see. So I can do, you know, stuff like that. Actually, I want to test something really quick. Okay. I want to say there's something I can do after that. Okay. Anyway, forget me. I was lost in a thought. So yeah, crouching medium kick does that. It's +9 on hit. At that distance, the only thing you can really do is this. That's another reason why I like doing light punch straight. Is even on tip. Oops. Whoops. So yeah, even on tip, you can still convert into that. So, from there, you can also do V skill punch, V trigger cancel. This leaves you +11. This leaves you +11 on hit, or no, it leaves like +14 on hit. That's not a combo, but you could do something like that if you really wanted to. So this move is -4 normally, but V trigger canceling it will make you very, like, it'll make you +11. So you can actually frame trap into medium punch straight on that one. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. I'll put him back to guard all. So this is something I get a lot of people with. It's amazing just how much. So I can do like something like this. Say I'm fighting Ryu and I want to try to do this to get in his face, but I misread it and I'm like this. Then I can do something like that, but let me... Did I take it off? Yeah, I did. Okay. So if I do something like this... So yeah, see, I can do that. And if I read that right... Okay, maybe not. Forget that. So yeah, you can do medium punch straight. That is a frame trap. It is also a conversion on hit, so it works both ways. This is +11, as I said. This is also another good one to V trigger cancel after. That leaves you at +8. Meaning you can do that as a frame trap. And just like that, you did half their health. Off of an overhead, no less. So if they get hit by it, we'll just kind of show you an example. If they get hit by it, then you can combo into that and, you know, do whatever you want. Yeah, that pushes them too far back. That actually combos on hit into heavy punch straight if you really want. This would only be for, like, if you're at this range. If you're too far away to do anything else, you can always do that and, you know, combo them into whatever. However, from this distance, you're better off doing something like that. So yeah, this is just a great kind of option select because it makes it safe, and it also makes it very plus. So you want to basically convert a lot of your V-trigger cancels into that. This is another one you can do, crushing hard kick V-trigger cancel on block. This is +6 on block. Yeah, +6. So you can combo into that. Or that. You can also just make it into a block string, so you can keep pressuring. And remember, like I said, this is a frame trap. So because of that, while you're in V-trigger, you can do that to make it safe and keep pressuring. So in the event that they don't attack, you can do that to make it safe, and then you can keep going with it and even do that mix-up frame trap. So it gives you a lot of options for frame traps in V-trigger 1. What else here? Oh yeah, dash lows. These leave you at +3. They're not the best, but it's more like if you're across the screen and you want to just get in, you can do crouching medium punch or standing medium kick, and it'll frame trap. A lot of people don't actually know that that's plus, so you can sometimes just get away with something like this. You know, whatever. All the dash lows are the same. All of them are +3. So that's +3. That's +3. You know, all that stuff. And the screw smashes are also something you can do if they're standing. Obviously, if they're crouching, you notice. This, I forgot to mention that. This, I believe. Let me try recording his crouching light kick just so I make sure. Or crouching light punch, I mean. Hang on. Okay. So yeah, that, for some reason, is a 3-frame frame trap, if you really want to do it. At the same time, let me take this off. So if he's crouch guarding, that will be ducked, so you have to watch out for that. However, if they mash or if they're standing, then you can V-trigger cancel, and you're actually plus on that if you V-trigger cancel after that. So you can make that a block string, or you can do medium punch. I believe medium punch straight. Let me try this. So if you do this, that's a frame trap. But if you end with that, then you can do medium punch straight. That I've gotten a lot of people with because they don't expect this to be plus on block, and it is super plus. So that's another frame trap you can do from V-trigger cancel. Okay. Tap is another one you can cancel into, and it leaves you at varying levels of plus depending on what level you do. Level 1 is plus 12, and it goes up by one frame advantage each level, I believe. So it's like plus 13 at level 2, plus 14 at level 3, etc. So if I do this, that is a frame trap. Or it's not a frame trap, it's a block string. I can't remember if there's anything I can really do after that, unless I want to delay it a little bit. So basically after that, you can micro walk into a crouching hard punch. I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't really. You can't really, you know, throw it from there. You can also do that as a frame trap if you really want. I wouldn't recommend it. This is basically just to get a little more in their face. And of course the higher levels of tap will give you higher advantage. So that's not a bad thing. Not that tap is really that useful anymore, but it's still something to know. Now going into a bit into kind of the trade tech stuff. I went a little bit into it. So that is a trade tech. So doing that, first of all, this converts on hit, and on block it trades with that. It is very unsafe, however. It would be best if you had V-trigger. That way if they block it, then you can, you know, make it safe like that. You can actually make it a frame trap. What are some other trade techs he's got? I want to say, yeah, that's a frame trap. That's a frame trap. Yeah, that's, oh yeah, that one is the trade tech as well. So yeah, you can do stuff like that. Trying to think of what else like you have for trade tech on block for frame trap specifically. I don't think there's a whole lot. I mean, yeah, like this one is one of them. If I can get the thing. It's kind of specific. You can always do something like that if you really want. I'm not really getting it right now anyway. Off the top of my head, that's the only real thing I can think of for trade tech, honestly, on block. I'll probably cover some more trade tech. There's a lot more with meaties and setups and stuff. Like you can, in the corner, if I set him to wake up after a throw with a 3-frame, that trades. So that's an option too. Okay, yeah, I will go into the trade tech. There is one on hit. So if we set the... If we just set him to mash... Try that again. Okay, there we go. We set him to mash 3-frame. That way we can try out on hit 3-frame frame traps. So, when you're in V-trigger and you do one punch rekka after a straight, then V-skill overhead will trade. So if I do this, so that trades. It might not be set up right. Yeah, okay, it's not set up right. Hang on. Okay. Let me try this again here. So yeah, if you're really fast on it, you can do heavy punch straight to trade with that. So if I do something like this, oops. Yeah, see, I'm not very good at it myself. Bad. See, I got it there. You can give something like that. Yeah. So, you kind of see how that can work. Alternatively, you can do this. If you delay V-skill punch, if you can time it right, see, then you can keep going with it. You can do that as well. That's obviously not a trade unless you time it wrong. What else? Oh yeah, this. On block, I want to say that's another trade check. So, okay, that's actually a frame trap, never mind. So yeah, that's something you can do on block if you're just a sliver away from. And on counter hit, you can actually convert into heavy punch straight if you really want. You're better off just doing crouch hard punch anyway, but still, it gives you options. So that's about all I really got to cover in this video. Be sure to let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover in the future. Otherwise, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And thanks for watching and everything. And I guess I'll see you later.